What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS podcast and live stream. James, we are back from the NBA All-Star break here. We had, 6 days off without NBA content, it feels like, last
7?
Friday to
No,
Thursday.
Thursday. I think. I guess Thursday was the last day. So
Yeah,
yeah, 6 days off. You
yeah,
nailed it.
so
Math is hard.
yeah, it's okay. Math is hard, but no NBA DFS content or games being played for about a week here now. I know James and I have gone a little bit longer without doing the podcast and live stream, taking our own vacations and times off mixed in between there, but we are refreshed. We're ready to go, and it is a sprint, James, to the end of the regular season. We're entering territory where anything can happen in NBA DFS land. I saw that the Jazz signed Frank Jackson, and I was like, there will be a 50 fantasy point Frank Jackson game at some point during this season, because that's just the way end of the year
Yep.
NBA happens. There's 25 games, 30 games left for some remaining on the NBA schedule here. So playoffs are right around the corner. They have a late NBA All-Star break. We're already past the trade deadline here. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting time. There's going to be a lot of games jammed in. We have a 9-game comeback here on a Thursday slate. Generally, it feels like when we come back from these things, they ease you into it. They give you like a 2-game TNT with like the Lakers and Warriors. Like, nope, 9 games, full slate. Lakers and Warriors are part of the late night hammer here on this slate here, but no rest for the weary. We're gonna have a lot of games to cover here over the final 5-6 weeks of the season.
Yeah, and you oversold it a little bit. I'm looking at the schedules. Anywhere from 20 to 24 games is
Crazy.
remaining. So some teams as few as 20. So it's going to be a sprint to the finish, as you mentioned. A lot of things could change. The Eastern Conference standings is very interesting. The Western Conference, 3 through I think 14 teams are currently potentially, I guess 13 minus Spurs. Houston have a chance at a
A
playoff
lot of
berth.
people
So
trolling John Morant
a
lately.
lot of people trolling John Morant. He should have not said what he said, but he did.
I'm fine in
And
the West. Are you fine in the West? Because
yeah,
the West just acquired half of the Brooklyn Nets team.
yep, yep.
And then add in D'Angelo Russell going over to Lakers, and you have Dar Davis and LeBron all score 20 actual in a game and blowing out the Pelicans there. So the West just got a lot tougher. In the East, I mean, Giannis is dealing with a wrist injury now that he suffered
Yep.
right before the break, and all reports are that he escaped any sort of serious injury there, but he's likely to at least miss a couple of games here. The Celtics are the Celtics; they're the best team in the East, and you wonder really, where the competition's going to come from there. Come playoff time. Obviously the Bucks are going to be big contenders there. I don't know about the 76ers. They lost to the Celtics when they were missing 4 of their starters recently. I know regular season play versus playoff play is differently. I think the Heat are going to once again be a problem come playoff time. I argued this with Adam Ronis on the Better Sports Network show, filling in for Fancy on the Playbook. I don't really care where the Heat finish in the regular season standings. When they get to the playoffs, you look at that team and the lineup that they're going to be able to put out there, and add in the fact that they're seemingly favorites for Kevin Love. I don't know if that transaction has officially occurred yet or not, but you get Jimmy Butler in the playoffs and he steps his game up. You have battle tested guys that have been deep in the playoffs now for back-to-back years. It would not shock me if come Eastern Conference Finals or some path at some point, you're looking at, the Heat and the Celtics running it back like they did in the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Kevin Love is officially signed.
It's officially signed. Okay.
I think the East has a bunch of parity, kind of like the West. I think the East is definitely the stronger of the two conferences. My worry with Miami is they need to get out of the play-in game. They need, which I guess they will. Like, we assume Brooklyn's going to take a leap or take a tumble down the standings, whether they fall out of the playoff picture or not. I don't think they will, but they're currently 7, which is play-in game, and then either Celtics Bucks, right?
Right.
Likely, or 76ers if Milwaukee takes a fall. But
I
You
just
know,
don't
that's
think they're a bad team. I think once again we're looking at a Heat team that is just like they just rest guys during the year, right? Like they just go
yeah,
long periods of time where they're like, you know what? Like Butler doesn't play, Hero doesn't play, Lowry doesn't play. And I know Lowry's dealing with an injury. He's supposedly expected to be back sooner rather than later for them. But when you look at that team as a whole, and then you look at what the depth of that team is going to be come playoff time, and they're bringing off the bench a Kevin Love with a Gabe Vincent and a Max Struss, or depending on how they run that lineup, like it's deep, and they're all guys that have been there. So sidetrack for some regular season basketball talk, but it all kind of goes into what we're talking about here. It's going to be a sprint to the finish. These teams, like you said, are all fighting for playoff spots. LeBron has come out and said he wants to play as much as possible as the Lakers fight for their playoff lives here. So hopefully we don't see too many players sitting out
right.
moving forward here, and we'll get some fun slates.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, we're gonna see people sit out. I know LeBron said, and LeBron, he's so funny when he makes comments like, "These are the most important 20 games of my career." It's like, dude, you went to 10 straight NBA finals. Like, what? What are we talking about? But
Right.
it should be a fun sprint, and talking about Thursday's return slate. They have the big tournament over on DraftKings, 150K up top. Lots of marquee names to open up the second half, including Luka Doncic against the Spurs. And when you look over at the Vegas board, they've put out for Thursday slate, that spread in San Antonio, Dallas is the biggest one we have, 13.5 in favor of Dallas at home. 240 total in OKC, Utah, 238 in Golden State, Lakers, 239.5 in Portland, Sacramento. Those are like the most notables we have on the board. Indiana, Boston sits at 234.5. That's solid. Boston 8-point favorites on the road. Every total though over 222. So it should be another fun day of basketball. A nice intro back to the second half after a lackluster All-Star weekend.
100%. And as we return from the NBA All-Star break, our NBA DFS playbook for Thursday is going to be free to everybody. A little gift coming out of the break. So those of you who maybe have not already subscribed to Fantasy Alarm, not taking advantage of our All-Pro package, which if you've watched this podcast on YouTube, you've seen the promo at the bottom left hand of the screen, bottom right hand of the screen, whichever way it displays to you, all season long. 50% off the first 6 months. All-Pro package. You use promo code NBA50. It's $19.99 a month for the first 6 months there, and you get access to all of our DFS content, not just NBA, but rest of NHL season. NASCAR Daytona last weekend won $200 on $50 worth of entries. Our guy Matt Sells, 3-time Racing Writer of the Year, getting us kicked off in NASCAR. I won $4,000 in PGA 3 weeks ago. So our PGA DFS content out there firing out. We got the Honda Classic this week, so we're giving you a free preview here of our NBA DFS playbook. And of course, we encourage you, if you like what you saw, if you like what we do, subscribe. Why not? You get access to our premium Discord, where James and I are in there all the time, chatting up, answering your questions, giving you all the up-to-date lineup block information that you guys need. And then, of course, you get access to all of our premium DFS content. Again, not just for the NBA, but all sports, both seasonal content as well that's behind our paywall, and our DFS content all the way. Next 6 months, that basically takes you through the NFL season, right? 6 months from now, we're 8,
Holy.
9, so right up until the NFL season, all through baseball. So no better time than now. Join up. NBA code 50 at sign up. All pro access there. Check it out. So James, let's jump into it. Point guard position here. I mentioned to you we have like 10 guys over 10K on the slate in total. 5 of those guys, 6 of those guys here are at point guard. Luka Doncic's at 11-9. At home against San Antonio, fresh off his Mexico vacation. Damian Lillard's there at 11-4, winning of the 3-point contest. Dame Lillard is there. He gets the Kings. John Morant on the road at 10-8 against Philly. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the road against Utah at 10-5. Kyrie Irving questionable for whatever reason at 10-3. Played in the All-Star game. 10-3 for him. So those are your top priced point guards in the 10K or above range.
Yeah, I mean, you have to take a look at obviously both Kyrie and Luka, and consider, is that game going to stay competitive? It could. Dallas hasn't looked great, but we know, I think, there's two guys that are still going to gel together for a bit, or look to gel together. So maybe San Antonio can stick around. I think they're both in play. Lillard obviously was amazing leading up to the All-Star break. I mean, when you look at some of these games, he went into the break 39, 40, 39, 33 actual points, one double, one triple double, 56 plus fantasy points in all four of those games. Just a tough price to get to. Same with Ja. 10-8 doesn't feel great. So SGA feels the best at 10-5. OKC, is it kind of like a sneaky dark horse to make the playoffs? I mean, they're currently, if the season ended today, they would be the 10 seed, so they'd be in the play-in game. And they've just been playing good on the back of SGA, who, this is going to be a very, 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 very fun, appealing game. It doesn't surprise me to see a 240 game total lead the slate, 2.5 point spread. Utah, traded a bunch of assets, and they're playing a bunch of guys that,
they signed Frank Jackson, so
right. So
is Sexton still hurt here? Is that what we got for Frank Jackson for?
Should be.
I don't have an update on his injury there. So.
Yeah, the injury reports are not official. He left Wednesday's game, and
had plenty of time.
It was a hamstring. There's nothing official on his status for Thursday, so I don't know. We'll find out. But I think of the tier, SGA over 10K is my favorite. And with dart throws on Luka and Kyrie, just considering if that game stays close, we know San Antonio is the worst defensive team in basketball.
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you there. Of course, we're not saying don't play Lillard either. Guy of course, is a monster. Can certainly.
It's a price though, dude. 11.4 is.
It is.
I know he's been going crazy, but that's getting to a territory. I don't know if I'm necessarily comfortable.
No, I mean, like you said, 55 fantasy points is 5x. He's giving you 56 or more in 4 straight. And five of the previous 6 games. But then again, he's only getting you the 5x. So a little less upside potential based off the cost value. But hard to argue with the way he's been producing right now. Again, going up against Sacramento there. Below 10K, guys, again, you have Harden at 99. Feels a little bit too much for me, especially in this matchup here. Fox is at 98. Fred VanVleet's at $9,700. It feels like a big price boost for him. Halliburton's at 96. Jordan Poole up to $9,100. I mean, that's, again, haven't seen Poole priced up like this in a little bit. It feels like finally maybe DraftKings took some time to reevaluate some of these price points on guys here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not paying $9,100 for Jordan Poole.
Yeah,
I know Steph is out, but there's no way.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like VanVleet's been over 9K for 4 slates, but now he's $9,700.
Yeah, there's just no way. There's just no way we could pay these prices. And I get it. Like, I'm happy they're tightening up prices. I just don't think there's leverage getting to anyone in this tier.
We are getting some injury news here as we're recording here. Ricky Rubio is out for injury management, coming off of a 6 days off. He's
must be a back-to-back. That must be a back-to-back.
Aaron Gordon is out with his rib injury, so already ruled out Aaron Gordon there. Kevin Durant could debut on Sunday, so something to look forward to there. And let's see, what do we have? That's it for guys that are Zeke Naji's out too. Naji out for the Nuggets. So we'll see if any more information. Maybe Jamal Murray news comes out here now that we're getting a couple of Nuggets players here.
I saw he had news earlier today.
He looks good.
He's going to play.
Yeah,
he's going to play.
Yeah, we'll play.
Which is probably where
$8,700 though. I mean,
that's probably where we get to, though. I know it's a tough spot, Cleveland, but Jamal Murray, another guy that went into the break, injured, yes, but the games prior, he was great. I would take a shot on Murray, and on the flip side, I would take a shot on Garland in tournaments too. We know Garland has the blow up potential, and this is a good I know Denver's a great team, they're currently one in the West, but Denver has been a team we've talked about kind of ad nauseum that you can kind of exploit defensively.
Yeah, no arguments here, for sure. Jordan Clarkson at 75. We're talking about a guy. You're looking at the guard play now with the Jazz. If there's no Sexton, also could certainly have the ball in his hands a bit more here, and 40 fantasy points coming off before the break against Memphis. Now he gets the Thunder in this spot. Hasn't actually played against OKC yet this year. Kind of surprising. So good opportunity here for Clarkson at 75.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the price for Clarkson, and we're awaiting this Colin Sexton news. And if he doesn't play, like Clarkson's an easy plug and play.
How do you feel about D'Angelo Russell at 65?
I don't know if I'm gonna get there. I get it. He was great. They moved Schroeder to the bench, and Schroeder only played 18 minutes, but there's still that looming. They could just do like a 20-minute split, right, where they're both like in the rotation. I like the price. I don't hate the matchup. I could get there in tournaments. It's not a priority for me, just given because they have LeBron and Anthony Davis healthy, and I could be talked into getting some Russell at 65.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at this tier here. Like Simmons is obviously out. He's been dealing with Simons. He's been dealing with his injury there. Can't play the Celtics guards with Brown back. Maybe Smart, but like White and Brogdon with Jaylen Brown back are probably difficult to pay for, especially with Smart active as well. Like both of those guys are there, so kind of difficult to get to that range. We talked about Sexton, we're unsure about. So I mean, are you playing Fultz at 6K, Ivy at 55? Like to me, this mid tier, is Clarkson. It's Russell. I skipped over McCollum. I don't know how you feel about him at 82, but. If I'm looking in this mid 5K range, like that's where I'm looking. I'm looking Russell, and maybe Fultz.
I like Fultz. I think it's a good spot. The thing about the Magic is like the minutes were kind of weird, and then like suddenly something happened where everyone just started playing a bunch of minutes, and they started winning a lot of games too. Like they're actually not too far away from sneaking into the play-in tournament. They've been a lot better of late. I kind of like Fultz. I mean, 36 minutes in the final two games leading up to the break, 47, 39 fantasy
now,
points.
Now, there was no
Detroit.
Cole Anthony in those two games. Do you think that has any impact at all on him?
It could. Like, it very well could. He was still playing 32 to 33 minutes in the games prior. But obviously, Cole Anthony is a high usage guy. The shot attempts have still been there with or without Cole Anthony. Like we're getting double-digit shot attempts every game. So yeah, it's a good matchup against Detroit. It is a good point that Cole Anthony was out, and there's nothing official on Cole Anthony yet. There's still a wrist injury, so we'll have to wait and see what the official status is there. But yeah, I guess to your point, like if Cole Anthony does suit up, like that obviously it's a little hit.
Takes a little hit. But I do like Fultz at 6K as well. Again, Russell 65. I'll play Sexton at 56 if he's healthy. That one is good for me here. Yep. And then, again, if there's no Trey Jones, we'll see. I mean, Branham at $4,500. I mean, I don't know what, like, DraftKings bumps everybody else, and Malachi Branham hasn't been touched. You know? It doesn't make
That's probably, I wonder if that's them reading into a situation that like all these guys are eventually going to be back, like Jones, and Romeo Langford could return. So like that's like two guys that started for them. I don't know, but you're right. Like they should have bumped the price, but like, yeah, if there's no Jones or who's the other? Langford, but I think Devontae Graham and Malachi Branham here, both at like the similar price, are both in play.
I don't know if I'll ever get the right Jalen Suggs day, but if Cole Anthony is out, Jalen Suggs, 27, 28, 23, 29 minutes the last four games, 17, 32, 8, and 36 fantasy points. So two very bad games, two very good games fantasy production-wise here. If Cole Anthony's out, I'd be willing to throw a dart here at 4,200.
Same. Guess what fantasy day I played?
The 8 fantasy point game? I think I played the 17 fantasy point game. So
I played the 8. Yeah, I mean, Tournaments. You can't trust them in anything other than a tournament.
Shaden Sharp, $3,800 with Simons out.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
He looks good. There's going to be. I'm very interested to see the ownership early on Portland in this spot because I feel like we're going to get a lot of ownership on a lot of cheap Portland guys here.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you there. All right, let's go to shooting guard. Again, Kyrie's at your top 10-3. We'll see if he's active or not. Donnie Mitch at 95. You want to pick a competitive game? Donovan Mitchell, 58, 59, 53, the three fantasy point games prior to the All-Star break. I won't play him, so you can if you're interested. That's fine. $9,500, though, a guy's really performing well. Jaylen Brown, he was somebody that we generally talk about. We don't like paying over 9K for. If he's under 9K, we're willing to buy in. We do have a mask narrative here, though. So whether you want to believe in the mask narratives or not, he did drop 35 actual with 14 rebounds in 25 minutes in the All-Star game. Again, JB at 92, play him if you want. We're never gonna, it's not our favorite price point. So, but he has plenty of games this year where he's gone for 50, 60 fantasy points.
Yep.
So tournament play in there for sure. I know you said you wouldn't pay $9,100 for Poole. Klay Thompson's $8,800 though. How do you feel? Right, like but here's the thing: if you like Golden State Lakers for a game stack, then you have to be willing to pay for one of those two guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're in play-in tournaments. I'm just like, I'm probably just gonna go other direction. I just don't think like opportunity cost more often than not is worth it.
Okay.
Like more often than not, Klay Thompson this year has not hit 45 fantasy points.
Right. No, I agree.
Which we essentially need for 5x. So, and same could be said for Jordan Poole. I understand Steph's out. I understand it's a good matchup, great pace spot, like all of that. But like, there's next to no wiggle room on either guy. Like they have to be making all their shots. So.
Yeah. Poole averaging 40 fantasy points in 2 games against the Lakers. Had 50 fantasy points against them back on the 11th. So, has had some ceiling games here, but again, you need a ceiling game out of both players. We were playing a lot of Brandon Ingram, but now he's up to $8,900 and he's got Toronto. Feels a little less appealing for me.
Yep, agreed.
Mid-tier guys. Who are your targets?
I mean, everyone just feels priced out. Like Giddey has upside in this matchup, but we never can trust the minutes are going to be there for him. Like if one night it's 30 and the next night it's 28, or next night it's 34 and the next night it's 29. Like I don't know how to assess his minutes, but it's a great spot against Utah. We mentioned Clarkson. He's probably my top guy here.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Toronto guys are both expected to return, but OG hasn't played in a while. I don't know what the expectation is for him in terms of minutes. It's almost been a full month. Gary Trent had missed a bunch of time prior to the All-Star game, All-Star break. So what is his expectation? Can't really go there. I think Franz 59 is interesting, but like I can't get him. He took
4 shots, or 3. He had like 4 shots through the first like 3 quarters the other day against Toronto. Fired up a couple of shots at the end of that game, but pretty 0 rebounds. I mean, it's Toronto,
just,
tough matchup, but
I don't love shooting guard. Like I think I would take shots at Giddey. I get, I mean here's the problem though. Like Malik Monk had been out, so like we'd been missing Malik Monk, and yes, Huerter went off, and Huerter goes off when Monk's there sometimes. I don't know if that's going to be, the case here.
Yes, Horton Tucker, $4,800.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a big role. I think Horton Tucker's poised
for a big role. Look at
those
assist numbers for him. 6, 8, 7, 7, 7. Guy's playing de facto point guard, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, Sexton's never really been that guy, right? Like, Sexton's been, like, more off the ball or just, like, scoring first. So, I mean, if Horton Tucker's going to be that guy, for sure. I think that another guy that we're going to see garner a bunch of love in the ownership department.
Yep. Let's see here. Anybody else? I'm looking at. I mean, we talked about a couple of these guys already. Anybody that's we haven't discussed yet?
I mean, the Lakers started Malik Beasley last game.
Yeah.
He also like basically split time with Austin Reeves. It was um, essentially a full split, and then Lonnie Walker played 3 garbage time minutes. So if we can expect them to both play 24 minutes, do you have preference in one of the two? I probably Reeves at 3,200 is probably like where I would go. But like we know Malik Beasley, if he gets hot, hits like multiple shots in the first quarter, he might just stay on the floor. Um, Isaiah Joe has been a tournament dart for a long time. When he makes shots, he's on the floor too. Like he had prior to the last game before the break, he had made 4+ threes
Right.
in 3 straight games and scored a bunch of points. So like there's a bunch of just like dart throws down here. Nothing I don't
Yeah.
think
We talked
concrete.
about Shaden Sharp already. Cam Reddish started, played 33 minutes, and had 24 fantasy points. I would imagine start again if everybody's out for Portland. So,
Mm-hmm.
36 and 30, $100 there for a couple of the Portland guys in a favorable stacking matchup for them. Let's see. Richardson didn't really play a ton of minutes for the Pelicans there.
Yeah, the Richardson acquisition was so weird to me because like I I like they're all just wings,
Yeah,
right? Like they all are I don't know, man. That was he's a good player, obviously. We wanted him to be moved, but I just didn't understand that
yeah.
acquisition
I'm with
personally.
you. All right, let's go to small forward here. Jason Tatum's at 11K, LeBron James at 10.7, Lauri Markkanen at 9.4. How are we feeling about the top group here? I mean, are you worried at all about the price for Tatum at 11K against the Pacers? LBJ dealing with now Russell and Anthony Davis on the floor with him at 10.7. Markkanen, we like him when he's on the floor and healthy. He's been, it's just all whether or not he decides to rebound or not that day. So, what are your feelings here on the top three?
Yeah, I mean, we've grown accustomed to seeing Tatum at this price now, right?
Yeah,
Like he's just now
it's been a month
11K. That's just
plus. So
what he's gonna be. So I'm okay. I'm okay with Tatum at that price. I'm okay with LeBron at that price. Like if he is gonna go into like demon mode, then I'm fine with it. And Lauri Markkanen should be fine. 9,400 I think is a little priced out, but when he scores and rebounds, he doesn't. The problem is he doesn't do a lot else.
the
So we need
Thunder,
him.
the Thunder and Jazz haven't played at all this year.
Interesting.
Uh,
So they're gonna play. They're gonna meet a lot in the
or at
second
least
half.
DraftKings just isn't showing any head-to-head matchup stats between them. Like I'm clicking all different players in this matchup, and they have not played against each other this year. So weird
Interesting.
to be 20 games left to go in a year, and they haven't faced off against one another.
That is weird.
So, anyways, other guys we talked down already: Brown, Thompson. We got Scotty Barnes, but as you mentioned,
John.
guys,
John. They play 3 times. In the next 5 in Utah's next 5 games, they play 2 opponents: 3 OKC, 2 San Antonio.
good scheduling. That's what it is. Good NFL scheduling there. Scotty Barnes is 8,500. Again, you got OG and Trent coming back, so I don't really love that price tag for him there. Boncaro, though, against Detroit, I do kind of like. $7,900, a little bit more expensive than we were paying for him, but I mean, talent's there, minutes have been there. He gave you a couple of double doubles before the All Star break. Any love for Paolo here at 79?
Maybe another guy I just can't get right. Cannot get right. 79's expensive. It's a very good matchup. Orlando is very expensive, and not used to Orlando being
Right.
this expensive.
Well, I said a lot of these guys got price boosts, so
True. I
um,
actually like Keldon 7K. I don't hate Keldon at
Calvin
7K.
7K is not bad. I agree with you there. Bojan 63, Buddy Hield as small forward only now at $6,200. So Ben Matherin, uh,
That's
shooting
interesting.
guard there. You don't no more shooting guard eligible Buddy Hield on DraftKings. Jalen Williams is up to $6,100. He had some really good games going into the break. 50, 32, and 43 in 3 of the 4 fantasy point games and 3 of the last 4.
61. Holy cow, 6,100.
Yeah, big bump. Big bump for Jalen Williams there. No Aaron Gordon. You got MPJ at 6K. We've talked about Franz already, Horder, Matherin, Brown. Anybody here that we haven't discussed that you are keying in on?
No, I mean, I think the guys you mentioned. I think Boyan is interesting. Buddy Hield for tournaments. Michael Porter is fine. I don't hate DiVincenzo given the minutes he's played lately. I mean, 25 plus minutes in 5 straight games, but 5,400 is not the best price.
Sure.
If Bruce Brown were to start with Aaron Gordon out, I think they start Kankar, but if Bruce Brown were to start and they shifted MPJ to power forward, I could get behind some Bruce Brown at 5K.
Okay. Thoughts on Trey Murphy here?
4,800? I don't know. I just don't know how to assess all these wings for New Orleans on a given slate. Like he's fine in tournaments, but like he played 20 minutes last game.
Sure. Hey, hit no shots. I wonder if or it could be that Richardson just takes over.
Yeah, I don't have the answer for that part.
Yeah.
Of like what they're gonna do.
Sure.
They just have too many of the same guy.
Yep. You mentioned Kankar. He's $3,700 here.
Lou Dort 44 probably gets back into like a more steady role in the second half. Coming back from that injury, they slow rolled him. Kendrick is always like maybe play 30, maybe play 18 minutes, and when he plays 30 minutes, it's like cool. And I know you mentioned the Portland guys, but like I think Thibault and Reddish are both just going to play 30 minutes every slate.
Yeah,
and
they're going to be Reddish because at least he's going to shoot, right? Like Thibault, I don't know.
No, I know. I know they're going to garner ownership here. Thibault made shots 2 slates ago at 31. Then we saw him do nothing offensively, but he had 4 steals. Like their potential there is pretty great considering it's Sacramento. And we know Reddish is going to shoot. So like I think both these guys are going to check in pretty popular.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, let's go to power forward. At the top, again, we have Tatum talked about. Siakam, power forward center, eligible finally. Gave him the dual eligibility here. 10-2 for Pascal Siakam. Then we go all the way down to Evan Mobley at 8K. Jaren Jackson on the road at $7,800. So less appeal there for Triple J there on the road. Draymond at 74. Christian Wood at 71. They just won't play the man minutes. It's just frustrating. Where are you looking at the power forward position, man?
Essentially nobody you have talked about.
I was gonna say I don't really love. I mean, I could maybe get to Evan Mobley, but 8K is expensive.
It's very expensive. I don't. So they're gonna play Christian Wood. I think he's getting ramped up.
You would think Luka, Wood, and Irving would be the 3 you want out there.
Yep, agreed. So I'm assuming that we get more Christian Wood, and I don't hate that at 71. So like Christian Wood 71, Draymond 74, probably the 2 places I would be most likely to get to. I like Kelly Olynyk quite a bit at 53.
Now there was no market in the game, but I mean we also know Kelly O can be this player, right? So
they're gonna do the Cleveland lineup probably from last year where
everybody's
marking it. Yeah, marking it at the 3, Kelly O at the 4, and Walker Kessler at the 5. So if Kelly Olynyk's still starting, sign me up. We know Jeremy Sohan's gonna have a big role in the second half. I can get there too.
Yeah, I'm with you there. James Wiseman played for Detroit, by the way. So
started, and they've already announced it. He's starting. Yep. He's their starting center.
Yep.
What that does to everyone else remains to be seen. But like at the very least, we know James Wiseman's going to be starting.
Yep. Keegan Murray down to $4,700. Again, I know he's been very inconsistent at times, but if you're looking at that game, you want to get a little different on it. You certainly can go there. We'll see if Bates Diop is in the lineup again or not, starting wise, based off who's healthy for San Antonio. Let's see here. Boucher's still playing mid-20s, but Pirtle's there now, so that kind of like hurts a little bit. Aaron Neesmith is a power forward only, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
Would you go there? 4K?
Maybe tournament dart.
It's gonna run him up against Al Horford. I mean, that's a feels like a disadvantage for Al Horford there with Aaron Nesmith. So a lot of athleticism.
He's fine. He's last piece in.
Okay. Let's go to center then. We'll wrap this up here. Joker 11-8, Embiid 11-1, AD 10-6, Sabonis 10-1. Who's your favorite?
Jokic. Love Jokic. Embiid is in a good spot if Steven Adams is still out. Anthony Davis is fine. Sabonis, I think, is a pretty good play. 10-1.
I'm a big Anthony Davis guy, especially at under 11K. Hard to argue, obviously, with what Jokic can do. And then JoJo running up without having to deal with Steven Adams at home. Also a good spot. Mid-tier guys here. I mean, Rob Williams, if he's healthy, 62. I don't think it's awful.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Walker Kessler's at 57, knowing he's going to play all those minutes. The block upside is super appealing.
Yep.
They're playing Zach Collins a boatload of minutes. 40 fantasy points the other night, 49 against Detroit 3 nights prior. Run him up for sure. Achua, healthy, 5,400. I think we're in on that one as well. And then you mentioned Wiseman, right? Like Wiseman's at $3,500. Yep. He only played 24 minutes, but 11-5. I mean, how worried are you on the minutes there?
Not. I mean, they traded for him. They traded a few former lottery pick in Sadiq Bey for Wiseman. So, I think he's going to play minutes. So, I mean, as we don't know the status of Jalen Duren. I think he's going to play. He had all that time off, but it would only get better for Wiseman if Duren sat. I just want to go back. I don't hate Kevon Looney. He's playing a bunch of minutes right now. Yeah. He has been very good of late. 2 straight double-doubles. And
his rebound props have been crazy low. There's been 7.5, 8.5 the last couple slates because they're not counting the fact that he's playing minutes because beforehand
he's starting
playing,
again.
Yeah, he was playing 20, 22 minutes, and it just feels like books haven't caught back up that he's just a rebound machine.
And then Wendell Carter Jr. 5,800 is really cheap, and Detroit's been terrible in the front court. Wiseman's not going to make that any better.
Sure.
Final game into the All-Star break, Carter 26, 6, and 5. 43 fantasy points. Very cheap price. Under 6K, Wendell Carter piques my interest. So.
Okay. All right. Let's get our lineup in here then. Where are we going for the Portland value? You thinking Cam Reddish, Shaedon Sharpe here?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Let's lock in the value here. Late night hammer value there as well. So Shaedon Sharpe at shooting guard.
I mean, I don't think we need to play all. If we're going to play Wiseman, I don't think we need to play all 3. And because we don't need to spend up with 2 guys.
Well, there's things. There are a lot of spend ups on guys are priced higher than we are used to them being priced as well. So I want to at least put in those 2 guys. We have $7,100 a player. Who's our stud? Who's the number 1 guy we're building our lineup around here?
I don't know.
You said you liked SGA. Did you want
SGA? Yeah, we could do SGA. That works.
SGA 10-5?
Yeah. Guard. Yep. I really like Clarkson if we...
Yeah, we have plenty of Clarkson space. Clarkson. You like the Olynyk too. Would you rather him or Kessler?
Are we playing Wiseman at center, or are we skipping?
We haven't locked anybody in yet. We still have the utility spot open as well.
Yeah, I mean Kessler's fine. I really like this 5K range at center. So I'm okay with any of those guys, whether it's Kessler, Carter, Collins. All those guys are super solid.
Sure. We can play 2. I mean,
yeah,
Olynyk obviously can play power forward. It gives us a little bit more flexibility there.
Yeah, I was gonna say the position flexibility hurts. I think playing either 2 of those guys.
I'll play Kessler. I'll play Olynyk rather power forward then, and then you liked Wendell Carter against Detroit.
So we running 3 Jazz?
No, I got 2. I got Olynyk and Clarkson.
Okay, cool.
I threw Wendell Carter in there at center.
Okay.
We have 6,700, almost 6,800 a player for a forward and a utility. So we can go Wiseman and then spend up if you want. It gives us a 10K forward, which would be our 3rd Jazz if we wanted to go Laurie. Jaylen Brown.
We could do Michael Porter at 6K. We could do... you mentioned you liked Huerter.
So yeah, but you also brought up the point on
Malik Monk.
Malik Monk, which is a good point to that there. Let's see here.
The Lakers started Jared Vanderbilt. He played 28 minutes last game.
I just didn't like dealing with all that other stuff that's there.
Talon Horton-Tucker to give us a third Jazz.
I mean, I don't hate Talon Horton-Tucker.
I don't either.
This isn't a terrible stack game.
No, play it.
Right. 8,700 for util. We got Garland.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So there's our current lineup. Again, subject to change. Just an example of the process there. SGA, Shaedon Sharpe, Cam Reddish, Kelly Olynyk, Wendell Carter, Jordan Clarkson, Talon Horton-Tucker, Darius Garland, doing a little bit of a game stack there with OKC and Utah. I'll be on the playbook. Get us in the Discord. Again, the playbook is free for today. Only comeback special for the NBA All-Star break. Use promo code NBA50 to join and become an all-pro member. Get access to all of our premium content, including access to our Discord, where James and I will be right up to roster lock. If you have any questions, find us in there. Get us on Twitter. Good luck. We'll talk to you guys later.